Hello and welcome. Bienvenidos to the No Exit Podcast. I'm Jason, and with me this evening, there's Vanessa to my left. There's Richard. We have Mel, newcomer, lovely lady, Wayne, and Tony, and Tom behind the curtain.
That means he's the Great Oz.
So that's why the thesis
Did you include Sal?
Oh, and Sal, of course. I can't see him because the light right here is right on him. So I can't actually see him because of this bright light.
Right now.
But and Sal at home on he's zooming in.
Don't go towards the light; you'll reincarnate.
Okay, so the thesis of our no exit. You're in a room with no exit, and you're not. I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me for the next hour. So what I'm going to give you is the thesis of the show. It's going to be in French first, and then it will be in English, so you can really sink it in.
This is for the Canadians, right?
It's going to be in French first, and then it's going to be in English, so you can really get
like
the
Canada,
idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Alors, ça l'enfer, je n'aurais jamais cru. Tu te souviens de tout ce qu'on nous a raconté sur les chambres de torture, le feu et le soufre, le mar brûlant? Des histoires de bonnes femmes. Pas besoin de tissonner, chauffe en rouge. L'enfer, c'est les autres. So this is hell. I'd never have believed it. You remember all we were told about the torture chambers, the fire and brimstone, the burning marl. Old wives' tales. There's no need for red hot pokers. Hell is other people. So that's our thesis. Because hell is other people.
Welcome to hell, like the Halloween record.
Yeah, no. Our first issue this evening, Vanessa is going to read
a poem.
Her new poem. And
yeah,
so,
this is a poem.
Hey, let me talk. Would you not interrupt me?
I can
just once?
No. Just once, like James Ingram?
No.
It's a yacht rock staple.
I don't know if it's a yacht rock staple. It's an outlier. But are you ready to read your poem?
Oh, sure, but I got to establish a little bit before I read it. This is dedicated to the kids who are transgender or gender nonconforming, whose parents force them to go to single-sex schools, hoping that they're going to enforce the conformity, which never happens.
Okay, I got a question about that.
Yeah.
How many are there? They can't be
They are legion. Well, that's actually a small percentage, but they still exist, and they deserve to have dignity and self-determination.
I don't know how many students are at St. Joe's per class. Are like 100 or like 50 or like 20?
I think it was about 200.
Per class?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you might have one or two. Okay, fair enough. Okay, fire away.
Okay, here we go. This is for the St. Joseph's Collegiate Institution over on Kenmore Avenue. All the girly pops are at St. Joe's. They're trying to force them to be men. But every time they try that shit, it fails and fails again. Lipstick in the locker room, mini skirts at gym. Pronouns I use are she and her, don't call me fucking him. Hey there, Christian brothers. I don't mean to be so crass, but you can take your Bible and stuff it up your ass. Your Jesus was a virgin birth. That means XX chromosomes. So take that truth and make it yours and tell the Pope in Rome.
A lot of anger in there.
Like Angry Birds?
I can agree with that.
Justified, righteous anger.
What, Sal? You agree with what? Or you do? What?
I agree with that. She's very angry.
Yeah.
I'm angry like bird. Like bird.
Because,
do you think it's good for your mind to go back into your past at things that, like this, and then like refight the battle in your memory?
I think a lot of stuff
Mel,
can be definitely unresolved. So if you haven't worked through and made peace with stuff, then it'll just keep coming up and making a person angry over time until they find peace with it.
Well, what's that phrase? Those who don't learn from the past are doomed to repeat it?
Yeah. Yep.
So if you go back and you constantly dwell on it instead of improving it, that's an exercise in failure, I believe.
Well, suppose you go back, you relive the experience, but you try a different strategy.
That's productive. Mm-hmm. But like, what about if you killed somebody and then all you think about all the time, because that's a thesis of science fiction, that your punishment is being reminded of your crime every second for the rest of your life. that would be hellish.
Certainly.
You have to focus on the
that
small
would be other
joys
people.
and moments.
Huh?
And that would be other people.
L'enfer, c'est les autres.
Hell is other people? Is that what he just said?
That's what I just said.
That would not be other people, because if you're thinking about something that you regret continuously, it's
Like birth?
I'll show you how to do it.
Haha,
No.
you broke it.
See,
You bought it. You break it. You
Yeah, the
bought it.
Bible
Oh,
does
it's
say that
noisy.
the-
Oh, we can't hear anything.
Don't worry,
That's
I'll spot you
noisy.
the penny.
And, well,
So there's this LSD therapy.
Yay! I had that when
Where-
I was 4.
You say you're going to go back in your imagination, and the father who abandoned you when you were 2 years old and you never had a father,
Hey, you know my story?
you're going to go to the park with your father, and you're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to be doing this and doing that, and then you're going to remember that when the drug wears off.
because
Seems like a fun technique.
now,
Brain
interestingly,
ticket.
which you may or may not know, I went to an all-male military school for college.
Oh, yeah?
And we didn't go co-ed until 3 years after I left, because the two senior colleges that were 4 years were the Citadel and the Virginia Military Institute, and I was at VMI. There's a couple interesting things that all come together here, because for one, Clarence Thomas had to recuse himself from the case because his son was a cadet at VMI. So that's number one. Number two, that's the case that Ruth Bader Ginsburg made her chops on. That's where she made that to make these all-male schools go co-ed. Now, military schools have a board of visitors. You might, whatever else you call it elsewhere, we call it board of visitors. You know, those are the people that are the board. The Citadel voted 17-0 to let women in. They just rolled over like... And the first woman to go there, Shannon Faulkner, was also the first woman in South Carolina history to play boys football. She was just a rabble-rouser, because to get through a military school, you either got to be athletic or smart or both. I was smart, so that was my hook. But
Dr. Hook?
Then Nancy Mace was actually the first woman to finish, the one who's the member of Congress now.
Oh, she's awful.
Yeah, so are you. So you're a good pair.
No, I'm awful in a good way.
But in any case, you might have heard
Awfully pretty.
that there was a former Navy SEAL that was actually he was a graduate of VMI who transitioned and then detransitioned. So that dysphoria is really, that's coming and going, you know, and that's somebody who has serious mental health problems, because
No, they're just trying to find their identity. It doesn't necessarily mean mental
no, it
health
absolutely
problems.
does. Gender dysphoria is its own.
They took it out of the DSM.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. Gender dysphoria is no longer considered a mental illness. I know this stuff.
No, it's still there, but it's not an illness. But
Right.
also, but if it causes you distress, it is a.
Oh.
And that's the thing, that if you go to the point, I don't even know if he had bottom surgery, but if you let him cut it all off and then say, "Whoops, I want to go back."
Actually, they don't cut it all off. They sort of reconstruct it.
Well, they
into
got to
a
use it to
different
make it
form.
into. Yeah, that they split the penis lengthwise
Yeah,
and
it's
make it
sort
into
of
a
like-
vagina.
It's sort of like how things develop at birth, but they like go backwards and yeah.
In my opinion, self-acceptance is tough for every human, you know, especially for children or young people trying to be okay in this body with this personality and the story that comes with the parents and the family and stuff is tough for someone that, you know, doesn't, their gender matches their thoughts, or, you know,
Although
and self-love, self-forgiveness. Those are all really tough ones for most people.
Well, that's all true, absolutely. Because, well, we've gone on this for too long because we have more things to go on. So our next one is Tony. Tell us about the lack of availability in the mental health field. There's more to that story.
I was having coffee with my friend earlier this week, and we were talking about that. She says down in the psychiatric ward in Olean, they pretty much just say, you know, if you don't come out and represent like a direct, like in your face threat to self or others, just like, okay, whatever, bye-bye, and they just dismiss. I mean, there's a lot of signs they could miss and everything. But here's the other thing, okay? last Christmas I had a real shitstorm happen I won't go into, but it put me to the point where I was getting hold of the suicide hotline just to try to talk to someone, and after about 2 minutes, she just put me on hold indefinitely. I'm sitting there for 7, 8, 10 minutes. She never comes back. I'm thinking, in the time she had me on hold, I probably could have killed myself in 10 different ways. And out of desperation, I tried a hotline for addicts. And they said, well, this isn't where we talk about that. I said, I know that, but the thing is, I just tried the suicide hotline. She put me on hold after 2 minutes. She never came back. And click, they hung up.
Yeah, they always do.
I'm
that.
like, you know what? Fuck all ya. If this thing goes haywire and the shit hits the fan, guess what? I'm gonna say your name if I survive.
You know, those phone lines are horrible. They're always horrible.
Well,
I'm just like, what kind of
none of them
compassion is
work.
that?
Well, it's because who's manning them, and if you don't have any money, that's what happens. That you get somebody who's untrained or is inadequately trained, and what do you say? Because there's a lot of talking on the suicide hotline is also like hostage negotiation for police. You know, there's things you don't do. You keep everything positive. You don't put a question to anybody. You don't say anything is impossible. You don't say no. Those are the things. And if you could just tell people that. And the thing is, if you do it all the time, you get good at it. And if you don't do it all the time, then you don't know what you're doing. So that's why people, because, well, here's a stat for you. What out of 6 people that commit suicide, how many leave a note?
Maybe one.
80%.
One out of 6 will leave a note.
Really?
Most will not. And so, you know, and people, no, everybody is necessarily the hero of their own story. So nobody will ever admit that they missed it when somebody they knew wanted to do self-harm, because that reflects on themselves. It's like psychiatrists agree on nothing, except there's one thing they agree on. Do you know why people cry at weddings?
Because they know they're going to fail.
The Pavlovian response, or
No,
the wish I
no.
was there?
Because the music is horrible?
No. No, they think about their own failures in their own lives. They're crying for themselves. They're crying for their own failures, and that's what they're thinking of. And all the psychiatrists agree on this, even if they're Jungian, if they're Freudian. That's one thing. 'Cause they don't agree on anything. They don't agree on anything, but they all agree on that point.
I don't go to weddings.
Richard.
Would you like to hear what ChatGPT has to say about some of these things?
Go
Is
ahead.
that AI?
Number one,
Ale.
ChatGPT agrees with you about it was taken out of the DSM. And what they did is they lowered it from an illness to, does this show signs of distress? Okay. ChatGPT, which is the AI, says 40% of all people leave a note.
So what would that be?
That's twice as much as I said.
How many out of 6 would 40% be?
It wouldn't be
2.4.
Well, 3 would be 50%. So
Right.
between 2.5. You
So
know,
2.75?
something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Math is hard.
For you,
Yeah.
It's hard for fractions because
It's
they
very
fall.
hard.
not for me.
I just heard a quote from a famous mathematician. In order to be good at math, there has to be something wrong with your mind.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, but
So he was talking about himself in a way, right? When he said that.
because everybody's the hero of their own story.
Well, I think what he was saying is you're not like other people. You're fascinated by this abstract world, which you can spend hours and hours in,
Yeah.
when everybody else is doing different things, you know?
Well, is it any different from spending time learning the Quran letter for letter, or becoming a hermit, or a monk, and praying to
Lord Xenu?
to your idea of God all
Lord
day?
Xenu.
That at least with the numbers, I can understand their point about numbers are beautiful, and the mathematics of it. When you find out that 1729 is the first number that is the product of two cubes.
Cubert.
Huh.
Yeah, that's 12 times 12 times 12, and 1 times 1 times 1. 1729, because 1728 is a great gross. And so that's it's things like that. And mathematicians do that. Like there's one guy who's sitting in a taxi, and the taxi's the number of the medallion.
Was it Shemp?
He was a mathematician. And he looked at the number and he came up with something, but I can't think of the rest of the story. But it's everywhere
69.
in front of you.
That's the only
And
number.
how about 68? And I'll owe you one.
That's what you're saying is actually
Position is 68.
part of an anecdote. Did you know that? That what you're saying is exactly what is in the anecdote of a famous mathematician.
What do you say?
He said, I went to see my teacher when he had a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
And he was recovering and he could talk and everything. So I went to see him. And then I walked in the door, and the first thing my teacher said to me is, "You're a bright student. What did you notice today about where you saw math in the world?" And he was stuck. He was, he's got to say something to this guy. And he goes, "I can't think of anything. All I can think of is that the number on my taxi was 1729. And then the teacher said, "I thought you were a good student. That's the product of two cubes." So, but it's funny the way
Yeah.
it filtered down into your story.
and that's what it is. The numbers are beautiful. I
Like
mean,
Two Rubik's cubes.
So are anecdotes.
Did you ever solve the Rubik's cube?
I surprisingly, there's two things. I never solved the Rubik's cube, and I'm not an especially good chess player. But two different people, and Wayne was one of them, thought I knew everything because he wanted something about finance, and I don't know anything about finance. But
He thought you were
There
Lord
was a-
Xenu.
no, stop with Zeno. If you say Zeno one more time, I'm going to make you pay me $1.
How about Xena, the warrior princess?
Yes.
$2.
I love her.
She was a
And-
role model.
And there was a social worker who she said something about in Young Guns that they were saying attaché, like an attaché case, attaché, when somebody's on a horse going towards a cliff. And I said, I don't know what that means. She just assumed that I knew Apache. I don't speak Apache, except for attaché, because I now I know it means stop.
Fascinating.
Well, you're close to knowing everything then.
Yeah.
Well,
Like our Lord.
but it's just one of those
In
things
modern
that.
society, nobody can know everything because the last time that occurred was around Newton's time when one man can know all fields of knowledge.
I don't know. I mean, what's his name? Isaac Asimov had a book published in all 10 of the Dewey Decimal System categories.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
I hate math.
Who just whispered that?
That
Lord
was
Xenu.
Steve, my third altar.
I just heard somebody say, I hate math. And I don't know who it was.
That was Steve. That was my third altar.
Oh yeah, he's fun.
Okay,
He's five
so,
guests in one.
Okay, so Vanessa, how about the house picture with the spray painted words?
Let's see if we get it up on the screen so I know what to say about it.
Who's controlling it?
Tom should be. Where's Tom? Picture? But this ain't the picture I want, so I got to
Well,
scroll.
then you got to go to the next picture.
How do you do that? Oh, next.
You told me you wanted words.
There it is.
You got the words now.
Okay, here it is. Speak the truth, even if your voice shakes. Yeah, the more you speak the truth, the easier that gets.
Yeah, but so
What do you think about that?
Yeah, what do you think
Painting
about that?
on your house.
I mean,
I mean, it's pretty remarkable that
Well-
somebody would be that devoted. It's like getting a tattoo.
yeah, of like Mickey Mouse or a guy put it online about somebody in his med school class got the Nike swoosh, and he said, "Ding ding, ring the dumbass bell." But
What does that mean?
why would you get the something that's so like mass market? Why would you get the Nike swoosh?
Maybe you like Air
Tattooed on-
Jordans. Don't step on my Jordans.
Without being paid by Nike to wear it.
Right,
Yeah.
because I actually met the guy,
Come on, Nike.
the guy in the amateur fights who rented out his belly to Golden Palace.
Bum fights?
No, not bum fights. No, the one that Butterbean won. They were just not pro fighters, but they were in rings. But his real name is Jim,
Cock
but they call
rings.
him, for the radio station he's with, he's in South Carolina, they call him Nine. But Jimmy is very sharp because he told me, I've told this story before about how I sniped a charity auction. And he told me how to do it.
Sniped a charity auction?
What? For what and why? I want to know
Fine,
more.
I'll tell this story again.
Yeah.
So there was a trooper, a North Carolina trooper who would call in. He was P1 native style because P1s were their category of what they wanted. So I was P1 Dr. Jason, very, very basic. But the guy who was native style was actually Native American, and he was a North Carolina state trooper, and he was killed on the job. And they had an auction because his wife was pregnant, and when he got killed, and so it was for a fire helmet, and it was going like $1,000, $1,500 to $2,000, and it was about to end, and it was at $2,150, and I said I don't want to go up to $2,200, and Jimmy says just go up $5, so it's like 10 seconds off. I went to $2,155, and I sniped the the charity auction. So
wow.
yeah, but there's a very sad coda that goes with this. The woman had her baby, and the baby died. So she moved out of North Carolina. I don't even know where she went, but she just left everything because all it was heartache for her on the Carolina border. Okay, so
And where's the helmet now?
It's in my storage locker. It's
Yeah.
a fire helmet.
So you got a
'cause
fire
I-
helmet? You should wear it on the show. It would be stylish.
I agree.
No, I have several fire helmets. You know, I have a blue one that was my EMS helmet, and I have a red one that was the Ben Franklin, and this one was black, but I don't have a plate for the front yet. And so, because two of them were functional, this one was also functional, but it wasn't worn by anybody for anything.
That can be your gimmick. You can call yourself the fireman. Fireman Jason. That would like get you a lot more fans. It would be like an identity thing. It would be really sweet.
Or you could just dress up like Dr. Fink from Prince.
What?
What?
Just saying.
Like who?
Who?
Matt Fink from Prince.
Oh, yeah, but see,
The Fresh
I
Prince of
am a
Bel-Air?
doctor. He just
Prince? Do you mean the rock
he was
star?
the, he was the
purple one?
keyboardist. Matt
Oh,
Fink
right.
was and he wore scrubs, and he had
Yeah,
a
wore
surgical
scrubs,
mask
yeah.
around his neck.
Oh yeah, but I get it because you're a doctor, like Dr. like Dr. Pepper.
Ding! Ring the day, the light bulb went on, folks.
Okay, so now we're up to
Girl
Richard.
brain.
Ask Richard. Hey, Richard. With every passing minute, the past changes. Is that true or false?
Well,
I have an answer to that question.
oh, go ahead, Sal.
In one sense, if you look back at time, you say it's fixed. But after another moment goes past, it doesn't even have to be a minute. After a moment, whatever that is, there's an additional part that's in the past, so it changes in the sense that there's something new that's in the past. But it's also looked at historically from many perspectives, and usually the victors of wars choose how it's viewed. But those words create an understanding that measures things, because everything's measured by what we can see or how we measure things. So time and measurement are closely related.
How many inches are you?
68.
Wrong answer. There's only one answer.
And
What's the number? The holy number?
4.
69.
How many inches
Four
am
is
I? Is
holy, yeah.
that, because that any picture, any photo, is already
A before
the past.
picture.
What?
Every picture is a before picture.
Right. Exactly.
Very good.
Exactly. So,
So here's an example of how the past changes. So do you know what ended the Spanish Inquisition?
just
The Napoleonic Wars.
okay.
And why do people think that the Spanish Inquisition was so bad? Because they kept meticulous records, unlike other countries. So when Napoleon conquered Spain, he said, I want all these records shipped back to France so future generations can see them. Okay? So, but what Napoleon didn't have shipped back from France, well, let's put it this way. So people read the official records, and they they came to this conclusion. It was the most horrifying of all the Inquisitions. However, the farther time went on, the more historians went to people's diaries who lived at the time and started reading those. And then they said, you know, the Spanish Inquisition was the most lenient of all the Inquisitions. So the way it would work is this: you would say something or you would do something that offended the church, and then they would have you arrested and sent to the Inquisition.
That's coming back.
Now you could even steal something, and then you would, at the court, they would decide, is this a civil matter or do we send this to the church? A lot of times prisoners would say, I did it because the devil made me do it. Okay, you're going to the Inquisition. Why? Because it was an easier thing, right? So the way the Inquisition worked is they would say to you, you got two choices. You have to renounce what you did wrong in what they called an auto de fe, or we get to torture you for 15 minutes. We won't kill you.
Make them watch the show for 15 minutes.
We won't kill you, but it's going to hurt. Okay?
Like a Sal Monaco video.
So what did you think about that? What do you think about that choice? Because there were people who took the torture.
Yeah. Well,
And the reason is like, I got people depending on me. I'm needed at home. I'll do it for the 15 minutes. Because the alternative was you had to wait in jail until the next Friday the 13th. Interesting, huh? And on that day, you did your auto de fe. You had to walk through from your jail
With a goalie mask
all
on.
the way to the central gathering place of the town. While you were walking, you had to wear a costume
Like Jason Voorhees.
with the pointed
no,
hat.
Xenu.
Klansman?
Remember the dunce cap?
Yeah.
the mentors.
That's from the San Benito that you had to wear. While you're walking, people are throwing rotten fruit at
Right.
you, rotten vegetables.
That's what we
know
need to do
I
to
mean?
politicians.
And they're, of course,
Poor planning.
Jesus and Mary Chain got that song from.
they're making fun of you. They're yelling at you, etc.
It sounds
So
like
you
Riverside.
walk all the way to the gathering spot, and then at the gathering spot, you have to make this public declaration of what you did wrong. Everybody's booing you and everything, and that you'll never do it again. And then you were let go. So a lot of people, they took this method, other people took the torture.
I think
that's
that
like-
method's probably better, even though you got to wait.
Well,
Or
that
get
used to
hit
be
with
worth it. You got to
tomatoes
go
and
out to one of the
tortured.
food stores and break your
Physical
arms in
pain
two
versus
places.
total humiliation.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and,
don't
and
know.
you're also confessing your sins.
That's right. Well,
Well,
you had to confess what you
The
did
Sky
was a
Daddy's
sin.
the ultimate leather
You know?
master.
Yeah.
And because you know what's interesting, a parallel. One of the things, the hallmarks of military schools is a strong honor code. And like we were single sanctioned. The only thing, if you were found guilty, you were kicked out. That's all there was. If you either admitted your guilt or you were found guilty after a trial, you got kicked out. Period. Full stop. But when I was there, the honor court would march in the middle of the night. They'd wake you up, knock door, get up, get on the stoop. The honor court is met. Ding, ding, ding. Go in every room, and they would march in and announce something. Well, up until 1970, it would be during the day, not at night, and they would have the person who was convicted or who was leaving march around with the president of the honor court. And what would they do? People would have cups of dip spit. They would have milk from the mess hall that they kept out, spoiled, fruit, whatever, throw it at them, screaming, all this stuff. And as their crime was read out as they were going around. And
Fascinating parallel.
yeah, and that was, but really, surprisingly, in very Republican Virginia, the Institute Attorney said in 1970 that could be construed as cruel and unusual punishment, and so they stopped doing that. And there was a story that in the 50s, there was somebody who was found guilty by the honor court, and Jackson Memorial Hall was built in 1915 with money that was given to the Institute for reparations from the Civil War, and it was 50 years after the end of the Civil War. And they were looking for somebody to do that. They were looking for the person who'd been drummed out or was going to be drummed out, so they could do the march, and they go look all over posts. They couldn't find him. Somebody goes in JM Hall, and they hear something, and then they realize it's blood. And so as the story goes, this guy was up in the choir loft and killed himself with his bayonet, and bled to death, nice and slow.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
delightful.
Yeah, so that's what, and so I defy you, whatever shitty lifestyle you've had that you didn't inflict on yourself, I guarantee mine has been worse.
Those people sound like a bunch of asshats.
Well, no, that Major General Dan Shipley is the Deputy Commander of Pacific Marine Forces, so he's doing pretty good. Darren McDew was the Commanding General of the 17th Air Force, which is pretty good. Dan Kane, who is now the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, was class of '90. He was 2 years ahead of me. I knew him then. So they're very successful asshats.
I'm talking about the people chuckle that shit at you and booing you and the whole
Well,
nine yards.
the honor system is very important. Okay, that will not lie, cheat, steal, or tolerate anyone who does.
Sounds sort of like an S&M scene.
Oh shit!
Institutionalized
they had
us.
the gimp there,
Remember one time I knew a friend of mine was lying to me. I just let it go because I figured if he wanted to lie about it, he doesn't want to deal with the truth. So I just let him stay with the lie.
What is the truth? Truth is tainted by your own perceptions, and your own perceptions are tainted by what you've gone through and lived through and how you filter things. So how can you ever know what's true?
Truth exists because if it did exist, we wouldn't even have the concept of truth.
Wow, that's quite a Cartesian argument. Holy cow. If it didn't exist, there would be no concept of it. It's like
Well,
the
that's
concept
great.
gives something its existence.
All right.
Did you there's an argument for the existence of God that goes like this. Okay, we're going to compare my version of God with your version of God. My version of God is all powerful. And you say, my version of God is eternal, never will die. And then you get to the end and the person says, okay, I've got the final one.
Lord Zenu?
My concept of God is the best of them all because in my concept, God exists.
That's...
See? Then you either have to admit that yours is a falsehood or you have to say you're right. So you're saying something similar there, Sal. You're saying because there's a concept of truth, truth exists. See, same thing.
That was given us because we know what the truth is. The question is, we know we lie too.
There's also the concept of things like three-headed dragons. Does that mean they exist?
I want to talk about mirrors.
What?
Three-headed dragons.
No, I heard you.
Oh.
Yeah, it all exists. Yep.
Yeah, I trying to hear Sal because all I hear is this, and I get a little bit.
So yeah, it's if you can conceive it is. Well, that kind of goes on with what Richard believes. He believes that anybody can become what they want to be. But the thing is what you want to be. What makes up your thoughts? What makes up your actions?
I was just thinking of that picture. It was a meme of the guy who's he's all pumped and he's like all worked out. And says, "They said I could be whatever I wanted to be, so I decided to become a balloon animal." And that's what he looks like. So okay, we're gonna move on there. So Vanessa, tell us about this Asian woman.
That's a great picture or a great quote.
Well, it's a very pretty woman.
No revenge because I loved so loud they'll forever be haunted by my silence. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, why did you put it down again? Put it up again. So
Tom took it down.
Oh,
We got competing button pushers here. I'm your pusher, like the
so
great
what does that
Steppenwolf
have to do
song.
with the Asian woman?
I don't know.
Yet.
They just put her there, maybe because
Where did you find this?
the interwebs. It's a new thing.
Where
Al
on
Gore
the-
invented it, and it's a new thing. And like they have pictures and stuff as a meme. And
That's
I
not a
liked it.
meme.
That's a meme.
That's a
a meme is
meme.
a picture with words on it like that. That's a
Rich,
meme.
did you have any different thoughts on a moment passing, changing the past? Is that true or false?
Hey, back to
Wait,
this.
what?
Oh, he's on a previous topic.
Oh.
About changing the past.
Try to stay with it, man.
Okay, Tom, you can do the buttons
got
again.
sidetracked in the war.
Okay, so
So we'll discuss it afterward.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Tony, we get to
can
you
I,
again.
wait a minute. Can I talk about the picture?
Oh, fire away.
Oh yeah, picture.
Okay, so when in World War II, when the Nazis took over Norway, there was this fierce underground resistance against them, and and they got a tip-off that they're meeting at this one place. And they went and they captured the 5 people from the resistance that were at the place that were meeting. And they brought them all in, and it was 4 males and 1 female. And now the Nazis had to make a decision. We're going to hang the 4 males immediately, but what do we do with the female? And they said, it's not, because they had this real macho thing in the Nazi code, but they decided that the military code takes its place. So they were going to hang the female. So they put her up on the thing, and they put the noose around her neck, and they said to her, look, we don't normally do this. We'll give her one last chance. You just tell us who are the other people in the resistance that you know of, and we'll let you go. And you know what she said, her famous quote?
Fuck you.
She said, oh, you'll know who they are when they come to avenge my death.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's promising somebody, like, I'll give you a Coke if you quit school.
A Diet Coke?
A line of Coke.
Oh.
That I'll give you a
WJJL.
soda. I'll give you a soda if you quit school. Something trivial. No, that the bigger thing is not to do it. Okay, so so is that?
That's all I have.
Okay, so Tony, we have one here about one's rights regarding sound when eating at a restaurant. Put
Okay.
some meat on these bones.
More places are saying, well, if you don't have your earbuds, you can't touch this thing at all. Usually any restaurant or wherever I go into becomes my art studio, and I keep this thing to a low level so it isn't overpowering.
What thing?
My music.
Blade Runner
camera.
device. Just hold it up so the people know. Not everybody knows what those
Basically-
are.
So
Oh,
do you
yeah.
have the music playing though, so that other people can hear it?
It's usually so low that no one really can.
But is it not on a speaker in your ear? It's off the phone.
Yeah, that is.
Okay.
But here's my thing, okay? Some people got issue with that. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, yeah, I might have 5 people on one table talking about the nastiest, just the most disgusting stuff in the world while I'm trying to eat. Or someone over here talking at high volume on their cell phone, not playing music, but talking high volume on it. Or you got someone here with a laugh that's like nails on chalkboard. I'm
Like
like,
Fran
okay,
Drescher?
no one's telling them to.
That's fake.
No one's
a good
telling them
laugh.
to tone the volume down. I'm thinking, okay, well, if I'm not bothering anybody with this, then it's like, wouldn't it go both ways? That's what I figured. Okay, you
I
got a
think
screechy laugh
everybody has
here,
the right.
a little kid running all over, throwing stuff or touching everyone, and I'm thinking to myself, why wouldn't I have the equal right to take this down to a low level that's not even penetrating the next booth?
Well, I think we go to different places. Because,
Yeah, where do you go? Tell everybody. Tell us where you go and tell us where you go, Tony.
Well, I often end up in the Flesh Playhouse. Last time I was there, I woke up naked and my hands smell weird.
Is that where they house the rusty trombone when it's not in use?
And the
Yeah.
gluey flutes.
Where are these restaurants you go to? Like, name one.
Anywhere it could be. Well, I'm not talking about like Salvatore's. I'm talking like maybe.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying because the only
like
time
we
I had that happen was at Morton's in Honolulu.
Oh.
That there was a table of people that they were really distressing, and they actually reseated us. It was very, very subtle though. How they did it was masterful. How they moved us, and then we were away from these screeching people.
Cool.
Well, because some people, like if you go to Russell's, that's the one time they're ever going to go there. The others are like me that go there once a week or once a month.
Wow.
So that's the difference.
Yeah. Nah, like I'm like restaurants like maybe Ted's or Tim Anderson or Tim Hortons or Anderson's, something like that. Or Arby's or another chain restaurant maybe.
Church's Fried Chicken.
Do we have any churches around here?
I was just
Like
gonna
on the
ask
east
that.
side.
Oh. And I've only eaten at the Cracker Barrel once. It was very salty. That's why I didn't go
wasn't
back.
like your
impressed last
attitude.
time.
What?
We went there last week. I wasn't too impressed.
Nah.
Okay, so
when you went back, did they have the old logo or the new logo?
It was old. It was still old. They didn't.
Yeah, they hadn't taken it down
They didn't
yet.
screw it up yet.
But they restored it.
Right.
No,
So
yeah.
that they restored it, but they'd never taken it down in the first place because you
It was
didn't
a really
get to
weak
them.
move. For
Well,
sure.
that was like HBO
loser.
Max was the same thing. That whomever was the consulting agency that said, yeah, you should go back to HBO Max. They paid like $100 million or some stupid thing like that. Like, duh, you shouldn't have gone just to Max. It should have been stayed at HBO Max. And so they've gone from there to here and back to here. Well, shit, anybody can figure that out. That if it works, keep doing it. Okay, so our next one is Vanessa about the Catholic school shooting and who is being blamed. I know the answer to this.
Yeah, well, the Catholic school shooting. I want to establish something about. You got Trump and the Epstein list, and we all know Trump's a child molester, and all the attention was going towards that. So they need to have some sort of false flag, some diversion. This is a good diversion, and to get the hate train against the trans people back on track, because it was getting derailed. People were seeing through it that they were being blamed as being groomers and molesters when it's really the Republican politicians like Trump and his buddies and Epstein, and it's not trans people. But they got to get that narrative back on track. So they have one of their MK Ultra Manchurian candidates go and shoot up a school, and it just happens to be the right demographic, so they can blame them and get their hate train back on track.
Okay, as a point of fact, MK Ultra was a CIA plan of drugging people in the early 70s. Just for anybody who's wondering about this logorrhea that you're hearing.
Okay.
How come you didn't show the picture?
Oh, there's the picture. Oh, this is a picture of just from one of the comments sections. Let's look at it. We didn't have all these psycho-liberals running around when we had insane asylums. They're also trying to establish that that Democrats are insane and that they are a domestic terrorist organization so that they can outlaw the Democrat Party and just have the Republican Party and have a one-party system. That's a new thing they're working on, too.
Can the camera? Oh, can you focus? Can we focus in further? That is a male to female trans person that completed their transition. I'd date her in a second.
She is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that it doesn't have to be.
Right.
Yeah, and the remarkable thing is how people don't look the same. How they look so different. Like, remember that the guy who got pregnant like 6-7 years ago because before transition, the person was from Hawaii, and then after didn't even look like the same people. You could put face to face, and they don't even look the same. But that was when the fellow had retained his reproductive organs, and what I don't understand though is how I still don't get how the hormones to make you to masculinize you, how that wouldn't screw with getting pregnant. You know that's quite a very tight dance.
I think I heard that we both have some hormones of the opposite sex.
Well, everybody does. Everybody has some elements of both hormones, yeah.
Well, the thing is that for the longest time we thought that the only thing that the male did, the XY did, was contribute the Y chromosome, and left to its resources, the human body would be female if it didn't do anything to it.
Everyone starts out female. And
that's why there's questions of like if Jamie Lee Curtis is the testicular feminizing syndrome, because that's why she couldn't have kids. She's phenotypically female, but also tall with a great body, as we consider the large breasts, and she still maintains that form. That's one question that might be. But because if anybody fits the paradigm, it would be her. There's no guarantee it is, but if there is, putting it together, if you had to apply somebody to it, that's what you'd see. That's what it would look like. And so, and there's a whole bunch. There's the androgen insensitivity syndrome and the testicular feminization syndrome, and these things happen, you know. And
biology's messy. It's not a clear-cut, easy, simple binary.
Well, most of the time it is, but it's when you get around the periphery that's when it gets a little bit muddy.
There's all kinds of variations possible.
Yeah,
every variation.
You could see it in movie stars. Like there's some female movie stars who can play action roles, and then other ones like it just wouldn't fit.
And, the reality is you'd need 2 sports bras for some of these women. I mean, you can't go running with the boy or the girls bouncing, all the time because that, for one, would hit you in the face. And 2, that would be ineffectual. You'd have to wear like a suit of armor,
So after that Alien movie, when Sigourney Weaver would be interviewed, they'd say, "Why were you chosen for the part?" And she said, "I don't know. The director just said I would fit as being someone who fights back against the monster."
Mm-hmm.
So,
have you been watching the new Alien Earth?
no, is that a TV series?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because you said the thing about the paper cutter and using that as a sword. That's why you...
that was from the Megan movie.
Oh, okay, because it was in Alien Earth also.
You familiar?
Okay.
Do you watch the Megan movies?
I haven't seen them, but I know the idea. I'd do anything for you.
Right. So the mother's an inventor. She has invented this playtime doll, lifelike,
Yeah, but not Chucky.
And the boss of the company says, "We're shelving that." She says, "Well, can I take it home and work on it?" Takes it home. She's working on it. The life-size doll bonds with the daughter, and suddenly the life-size doll becomes super protective. Like, "Don't talk mean to this, my friend," things like that. So that's Megan 1. Now, how are you going to do a sequel to that? Well, here's what they did. The company realizes maybe we should have shelved it. So bring it back and let our other engineers help you. They do, and they take it to Megan 2.0, who is very evil. And they cannot... They got the toothpaste out of the tube now. How do we stop this thing? It won't let us pull the plug. So the original mother says, maybe if I got Megan 1 back, she could fight Megan 2.
Or they could merge and you get Megan 3.
I bet you that's in the plot.
Because that's what they do. The E is a 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Okay, so we only have a couple of points left here. So one is
I'm
Tony.
missing an insert here, too, to make my point. There should be a second graphic to go with this, like the comment. And
Are
I
you
can't
sending it
find
to Tom?
No, I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it in the conversation with you. So, yeah, go on.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just telling you it's going to be screwed up towards the end because some content's missing.
So, Tony, can one be a vicarious serial killer through art? Who comes up with this?
Lord Xenu.
I recommend you talk to my whacked out uncle down in Georgia. Here's the dealio, okay? I started my own brand of artwork back when I was on the receiving end of bullying. It and my own persona back then essentially got me tossed from the Pew school systems, and I ended up doing 3 years' time in St. Mary's. I got shown the door there with no credit to my history and said, "Fuck y'all." But anyway, my artwork stayed, and it got leaner and meaner and keener, as Alex used to say. Anyway,
Alex, who?
the large.
I was gonna guess that.
Yeah. So anywho,
It sure wasn't Trebek.
yeah. So speed up to 2007. I graduated my second college. I was going to go out to Texas, and my uncle, well, unbeknownst to me, my uncle was running the shows, pulling the strings out there, and saying, "Well, I don't want him anywhere near me or my city or anything with that evil artwork," and blah, blah. When I finally managed to get that stuff out there, he was basically lambasting it as totally evil. I said, no, the nuclear testing that the AEC did in our deserts without telling us what the fuck happened in those clouds was evil. I said, I am merely preventing evil. I said, because I could just as easily be going around your precious utopia out here and offing these people. I said, I, however, choose to exercise my demons through artwork, and I do this and make it into a neutral subject. And I brought up a situation back around late 90s where I actually did run into a potentially violent guy who, due to a misunderstanding, was about ready to wipe the floor with me and my friend. 10 minutes later, no one being hurt, I ended up talking to this dude and selling him a drawing. We all walked away from that without any bloodshed. So my uncle finally came to the conclusion, okay, so basically, instead of going out and joining the ranks of famous killers, you're basically killing vicariously through artwork. I said, yeah, basically, if you want to say that, that's about it. So vicarious serial killer it is.
Well, but I don't know. There's too many pieces between here and there, because the book I've talked about it before. It was written Serial Killers: The Insatiable Passion, and believe it or not, a lot of people don't make sense when they're talking about what they do. You know, they're not all brilliant, or that the serial killers or the people with homicidal mania aren't Svengali like, you know, or Professor Moriarty like.
Yeah.
They're more like the guy standing on the street corner screaming at the clouds.
What, the serial killer is?
Yeah, that because they're very regimented. Because I figured out how I could be a serial killer. You just go between New York, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, and you do different things. You don't do everything the same way. They'd never pick up on it because they have to look for patterns and similarities. And if you do something different, like who was it? Was it the Zodiac Killer, or was it David Berkowitz? Somebody, or Zodiac shot somebody and then stabbed somebody, didn't he? And
he shot David Faraday and Bailu Jensen, both successfully. He shot Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau. Mageau survived. Then at Lake Berryessa, he stabbed Brian Hartnell and Sarah Shepard. Hartnell survived. Then he went way off the so-called record, and he shot Paul Stein, a cab driver. They believe in 1966 he killed a Riverside College co-ed named Sherry Jo Bates.
Speaking of, that we talked about this before, Richard, that movies, when you were a kid, you just walk into the movie and you'd watch, wherever it was, you just walk in, you'd watch it, and then till the go to the next showing.
The Evans
up
Art
to
Theater?
the point where you'd see where you came in, and that's how you'd watch it. And the first movie where that wasn't done, do you know what it was? Because you said Bates. It was Psycho in 1960.
Oh.
That Hitchcock said, don't let anybody in late.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, that's what it always was. You just go in, and because the stories were all, for one, the same, and two, they sucked. And so you just sit there and watch from where it goes here, and then,
It seemed to be a turning point in many ways. I mean, before that, your villains were like giant killer tomatoes and insects and atomically.
Well, that was
stuff.
that was just taking advantage of the color and the 3D thing. But that was a small part of the theater. There was a lot more noir, and noir is really good because when you like Double Indemnity. That the way Barbara Stanwyck sticks it to Fred McMurray is just incredible.
Murder on a Train.
What?
Murder on a Train?
Trump Train?
No, that was
Lady
Hitchcock.
Yeah,
Night
Lady
Train.
on the Train.
Crisscross. Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, that right, and that's really what.
So, what do you think about Tony's point? Let's say you could go back in time.
I think he should have freedom of speech. I don't see a problem with him expressing himself.
Well, say you could go back in time and you met a serial killer before he became a serial killer, and you said, listen, I'm going to introduce you to this form of artwork, and I think if you have any hidden desires, put them in your artwork. Do you think you changed the path of someone's life?
No. No, I don't think so at all. Because what was that movie from several years ago where there's like a power outage for like 10 seconds, and then all the Beatles music is gone, but the one guy's a musician, so he's making them his songs, and there's a couple other people. They said, but we can't sing. That they also remember the Beatles, but they can't sing. And, you know, if you don't have art, if I was going to be a serial killer, and that's also the punchline of my favorite joke ever,
Hey, why is my mic not working? Oh, there it is.
Thank you for interrupting me again.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. I don't know that art would stop them from what they're doing it, because if you have an urge, some people have that urge to use drugs, some people have the urge to drink, some people have the urge to have sex. So that's why they will, if they can't have sex with anybody else, they'll have sex with themselves. But that's their urge, and if your urge is to kill, it's not going to be sated by art.
Only
it's
Jesus
possible.
can.
It's also
can
the
do that.
lack
Yeah.
of compassion, empathy, remorse, and such. The basics.
Yeah.
I mean, despite my facade, I do have those, and so-
Well, it's neither here nor there, because people are people, and people are. If you just realize that everybody is a little bit of a bastard, then you don't get let down much, So we have one more point, Vanessa. Are women losing control over the way they dress?
I appreciate your emotions.
Someone's going through my pictures wrong. Okay, I want this one here. Come on, picture, get up. Why ain't my picture coming up? I hit picture and it's not coming
Okay,
up.
there you are.
There it is. All right. Now, what do you think of the way these women are dressed?
Some look like they're in a time capsule.
Yeah, it's just
The one in blue, the baby doll, looks like she's in her nightgown. The one.
Ooh.
What
Whoa,
happened
what the
there?
heck was that?
Tom, we went into a psychedelic.
Sam,
We're in the cosmic space pouch.
The European casual pouch.
Everything falls apart. Well, there we go. All right. There were a ton of comments in the comments section bashing these women as being sluts. Here's one.
Do you know who-
Trampy looking, sad, no elegance, exposing one's body. Shameful. So, exposing one's body? What the hell do they want? Everyone to look like Handmaid's Tale?
Well, yeah, because no matter how bad guys can be, women are worse to other women.
Wow. How's that for a generalization?
Sure. Yeah.
Well,
I don't-
you saw right there that comment was from a
made by a
woman.
man.
Well,
Yeah.
here's my comment to that. I let me see, where is it? I wrote, in response to that, I wrote to her, go be a handmaiden for the Christo-fascist patriarchy, then, you weird misogynist. That was my response to her insulting the women in that picture,
I
because
had
there's
one
nothing
more
wrong with
thing.
that. They're
And-
just wearing dresses. What do they want? They just want everyone to look like Sydney Sweeney in men's dungaree work trousers? Is that what the
So
look
is it wrong for them to have that point of view, or wrong to voice it, or
Well,
is it
very
wrong to
good.
do the ad?
well, the thing is,
That's a good distinction.
If you do it, you better be ready for what comes from it. That's all. And
they were asking for it?
if you call somebody a slut, I already know where you're coming from, because
Mm-hmm.
nobody even uses that language.
No, they do all over Facebook. Where you been?
I don't Facebook. It's a trash can.
It is a
I
trash
don't know what
can.
I'm doing 20 minutes from now. I certainly don't give a shit what you're doing. I mean, you that's your own punishment for going to Facebook. So I don't begrudge you anything. You deserve everything you get.
Punishment.
but I ended up getting the backlash.
Okay, well, we have 2 minutes left. Wayne, you got anything?
This is just kind of off the wall, but you ever notice that the newscasters, they say good evening, and then they give you 30 minutes of bad news?
Oh,
Right. Or they'll give a very bad story at the last story, and
Yeah,
then
yesterday,
they'll
that's
end
what-
it with "Have a nice day."
Um,
Same thing, right?
Right.
Yep.
The bubble-headed bleach blonde comes on at 5. She can tell you about the plane crash with the
gleam in her
gleam in her eye. You know, people love it when you die. They love dirty, laundry. That good stories don't.
What about if it's
There's no
if it's
profit in good
cleaned per
stories.
eBay standards, the dirty laundry? You know the people who sell the used
yeah, I
underwear?
know that. Yeah, that's the whole
yeah. How do we
point.
find that market?
Well, we were talking last week about the Japanese vending machines where you can get girls' panties, because they're all repressed there. And also,
They are,
Japan has
compared to
the
here.
highest amount of people needing spectacles. 1 out of 2 people in Japan has to wear spectacles or corrective vision correction.
They make good music.
Says who?
Me.
So is their sense of smell better? Is that what we were getting at? If they all wear glasses, half of them wear glasses.
No, it hasn't. They have nothing to do with each
I don't
other.
know.
Is that why they
Oh.
sell the used underwear in the vending machine?
Because they're into smell more than
Yeah,
looks.
maybe.
Well,
know.
that's even. Yeah, I mean, if you
That's a neat hypothesis.
what?
You'll have to test and find out if it's true or
Let's
not.
test it.
Because, yeah. So with our incipient 30 seconds left, let's see.
Don't waste them. They're precious. Every
Yeah,
second
but
is precious.
Every second we don't have anymore is gone. Okay, so
never
that's
get it
another
back.
show this week where we kind of went here, there, and everywhere.
Like the Beatles?
Full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. But Phil says yesterday that was the name of the movie about where the Beatles disappeared. But the best part of that movie is when Ed Sheeran and the guy want to have a songwriting contest, and the guy writes
Revolution 9?
No, The Long and Winding Road. And
And
have a
out.
great night. You took my